Good.
Welcome everyone. As you have just observed, we are using the latest technology that is available. It's an honor to welcome Raj Wadhwani, who is the president of Contact Center World. So welcome, Raj,
Thank you.
to our tech.
Thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here. It's been a few years since we were in Istanbul. It's one of my favorite places because I know there's so many good things happening here in Turkey. You guys are really passionate about customer experience, about using technology, people engagement. So I'm hoping today that we'll inspire you with some of the ideas that we're going to share with you from all around the world. Nothing from Turkey. Okay, so if you're looking for anything from Turkey, I'm going to disappoint you because I want to share with you what's happening in other countries around the world. And thank you all for joining us, by the way. I'm going to ask one of my colleagues in a moment to just pass the microphone, just so you can introduce yourself, your name and your company. That's all we need to know. But before I do, I'm just going to share what we're going to be covering in the session. And it would help, talking about technology, if I plug my mouse in. Okay, so we're going to do very quick introductions. I'm going to share best practices from around the world. We're going to have a quick break, and then we're going to come back and also see if you guys have got anything that you would like to share. This is going to be participation. Okay, you have these. And I'll tell you about those in just a minute, what we're going to do with these. You also have a workbook, so you can make some notes because there's some really good ideas that we're going to be sharing with you. And I think that's means, oh yeah, we've also got a couple of flyers for you in terms of telling you a little bit more about who Contact Center World are and what we do. But let's maybe get some introductions around. If we can just pass the microphone, please just say your name and which company you're from, and we'll pass the microphone around very quickly. Sure.
Hello, my name is Metin Tiryaki. I'm a freelance trainer and consultant.
Hi, thank you.
Hello, my name is Yunus Micaz, freelance consultant. Thank you very much. Nice to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Yunus.
Hello, my name is Emine, Vinge'in Uygun Grup.
Hi, welcome.
Ben Melih Demir, Vinge'in Uygun Grup.
Hello, Yasin Koçan, Vingen Uygun Grup.
Mesut Sızmaz, Vinge'in Uygun.
You got a big team here.
Hi, Mr. Hayta, Vinge'in Group.
I am Çağatay. I'm from Media Market.
My name is Murat Yıldırım Barut from Trendyol.
Hello, my name is Şule, Pusula 6.
Hi Raj, hi Martina, hey guys.
He knows us, yeah.
So my name is Tanay Tümsoy, and I'm working in Pusula CX.
Hi, my name is Can Demira. I'm a consultant for call centers from Consult Saga.
Hi, Sevsep Uygur, come from Violence Group Turkey. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Savaş Yılmaz, Hisar Sigorta.
Hello, Burhan Karabeli, Hisar Sigorta.
Thank you. Is there anybody else at the back who want to introduce yourself?
Anyone who's standing? Nope. Okay.
Okay, well, no worries. We'll get to know you guys a bit as we go through this. So a little bit about me, okay, just so you know who I am and why I'm here in front of you. I fell into this industry back in 1990. And I'm sure, like most of you, it was an accident. Okay, I fell into contact centers and I've been here ever since. It's my passion. I love what the industry is about and I love meeting industry leaders from all around the world. My first two jobs were working in BPOs. I worked for one that was taken over eventually by Sitel, which is now Foundiva, and I worked for another one that was eventually taken over by Teleperformance, or TP. My role in those organizations was helping clients manage their programs. And it was actually through that I learned a lot very quickly about industry, what works, what doesn't work. In 1995, I then set up a consultancy and training company in Europe based out of the UK. And my first customer was Sony PlayStation Europe, who asked me to help them with a big project. I live in Canada. That's why I've got the Canadian flag. I'm a Canadian and English. In 1999, I set up Contact Center World. So when we are not a new organization, we've been going since 1999. And in January, this is our anniversary, our 26th anniversary. Now, we've got these little things for you, okay? As we go through the session, I'm going to share a problem with you and ask you, do you face a similar problem? If you do, you show yes or the thumbs up. If you show this, no, and if everybody says no, I'll skip on to the next section. If you say yes, we're going to talk about some best practices in that particular area. Also, if you like the tip that I'm going to be sharing, so I'm sharing tips, best practices, give us the thumbs up. If you think it's not good for you, thumbs down, okay? So a bit of participation, and I'd really like you all to participate so we can get a feeling of, are we going in the right direction for you? Because we've got so many different companies and we want to make sure everybody gets value. And at the end, you can give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if you like what I'm doing. Okay, green's good.
It's all good.
Okay, so just a little bit about who we are. We are a global association. We have over 230,000 members in 200 countries. We are like the LinkedIn. If you can connect with people, you can chat with them, you can message them, okay? All of our members are in the contact center and customer experience space. We run global awards. Some of you participate in those. We give out industry awards and recognition and been doing that since 2006. We also created very special tools for contact centers to help you with employee engagement, like Top Place to Work, and also what drives you crazy at work. We developed those for contact centers. And we also give certification for professionals and companies. We certify contact centers as being world class. We certify professionals in contact center best practices. Now, in your workbooks, you've got a QR code. If you want to find out more about us afterwards, please scan it. It's in the front of your workbook. This is yours. Make notes. Keep it. It's for your reference. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Imagine you had the opportunity of going all around the world into different contact centers in Europe, in Asia, in the Americas. Would that be of value to yourself? Yes or no? Is that of value to learn what other contact centers are doing? Show a yes or no. Everybody, please show a yes or no. Do you think it will add value if you could understand what other contact centers are doing? Okay, well, I hope most of you or all of you would actually say yes, because we all, in our businesses, we all need to learn what is best, and we can do it by making mistakes, or we can look at other people and say, how did you deal with that problem? That's what we are bringing to you today, some of those problems and some of the solutions. So when I go around the world and I meet all these amazing people, like yourselves, we pick up ideas, and that's what we're going to be sharing with you. They come from our award programs. Every year, we look for the top 1% in the industry. Okay, you know, if you benchmark contact centers and you asked 100 contact centers anywhere in the world, tell us about your metrics, you will get some really good metrics and some really bad metrics. If, however, you just pick the top 1% and you benchmark against that 1%, you will know, are you good enough to be in that 1%? Because the margin is going to be so narrow compared to a very broad margin if you just ask anybody. What we do at Contact Center World is we look at the top 1%. And it's the biggest awards program in the world with over 80 nations competing. We've got one or two in the audience here today who have won awards from us. And they're in the top 1%. What we then do with our awards is we say, if you want to win an award, you have to show that you really are the best. So people come along to our conferences and they share what they do. They don't just say, we're great, we're a bank, an insurance company, we're a delivery company, or we're a travel agency. They show and tell what they do. That's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. Now, quick question before we go into the tips. Who's had a really good experience with a bot recently? Yes or no? Who's had a good experience? You've had a good experience? No? Okay. What about the rest of you guys? Have you had a good experience with bots? No? Okay. So what is it that makes the best contact centers in the world the best? It's actually using a combination of technology, cutting edge technology. Sorry? But what, your company? Okay, well, we'll see. We'll work on that. But what makes companies the best is actually focusing on a number of things. You can't just put all your money into technology because, as we know, as we all experience, we have some good experiences sometimes, but most of the time, if a company just invests in technology, you lose the human interaction. So what we're going to share with you today is a problem. And when I share a problem, I'd like you to say, yes, we've had that problem, or we still have that problem. Okay? You don't have to show this if you don't have that problem. I just want to make sure we're covering things that are important to you. Then we're going to share a solution. And we're going to ask you, was that a good solution? Some of the slides, I'm going to blank out company names. Other ones I can't because they're videos and they've got embedded company logos. But to give you an idea, these are the countries where I'm going to be sharing ideas from. Not Turkey, okay? But I'm going to give you ideas from Canada, Philippines, Japan, USA, all of these different countries. Many of them I visited. Every single one of these has come from our events around the world. Let's start off with the first problem. Is this your day? You're so busy you don't have time to think about solutions. Who has that sort of problem? Anyone? Okay, we've got a couple of people in the audience, okay? What is life like working in a contact center? It's not all easy going every day, is it? You have fires to put out. Or do you guys have such a perfect center that you don't have any issues? Is your day like this where you're just like, oh, I've got another problem, and there's maybe a solution waiting for you, but you don't know, you don't have time to listen. You don't have time to find out what it is. I'm going to give you my first tip. How about if every day you could see a best practice presentation from a world-class organization, and you can see it on your desktop. Once a day, you get a different idea. That's one of the things we do on Contact Center World. We have a channel called Next Gen TV. Every single company who presents at our conferences, we eventually put them on here. What that means for you is you can watch a presentation one a day and get some ideas. So if you're looking for ideas, just go onto our Next Gen TV. It's free. And this is an example.
We're going to improve any development of feature that actually existing better. And of course, we're trying to launch the Instagram, and also as ones of media that being used by our contact center in the first place. Last one, phase 4. We go to the beyond of electricity, which is basically this exists today. Now, so ladies and gentlemen, with all of this thing, I'd like to share about the success story of PLN Mobile, but notice the performance of PLN Mobile itself. Now, first of all, we can see that the global rate of PLN Mobile today.
That's just an example. Okay, so on the previous video, you can see that what we give you, if you're looking for best practice ideas, every day you go onto Next Gen TV and you can watch a presentation. You see the presenter on stage, you can see their slides, you can hear them. You don't have to just read an article, you can watch and listen and learn what these guys do. And every day now, when we run our events, we say to every single presenter, you have to give 10 best practice ideas, 10. Not just 1 or 2, but 10. So you're getting best practice ideas available to you 365 days a year if you want them. Better still, you can come and join us in Istanbul in June, or you can come over to Toronto in Canada where I live, or you can go to Malaysia, or you can go to Dubai and be immersed and networked with the best in the industry, the top 1%. That's what we help people do. We help them connect. Here's another tip for you, okay? If you asked your contact center agents, how many of them, and you're going to say yes with this or no with this, okay? How many of your contact center agents really understand this is a global industry and there's masses of opportunities, just like all of you guys sitting here today? We've all fallen into it, but how many of you could go up to any of your agents and they would say with confidence, I know it's a massive industry, I want to stay in it, I want to be the best? How many of you can say yes to that? Okay, how many of you say no? Okay, some of you guys are not showing me anything, so it's kind of hard, but okay. But, you know, reality is, you go and ask anybody at school, what do you want to be when you grow up? How many people in this audience have said, I want to work in a contact center? Anyone? Just now you did. None. Okay, I've only met 2 people who said that. Okay, but that's reality. People do not see this as a profession. They don't say, I want to work in a contact center like my dad does, or my uncle, or my auntie. They don't do it because they don't always realize how massive this industry is. So what can you do? What do you do to educate your team about the industry? Who does anything? Who actually helps their staff members realize that this is a great industry and they should stay in it, not leave to join a different company? Anyone do anything? Well, you're a tough audience, you guys. Okay, reality is we don't do that, do we? We don't tell our agents. We bring them in, we hire them, we pay them some good money, we train them up, and then they say, oh, I'm going to be leaving because I want to go and find a different job because I'm looking for a career. I'm looking for my future. We don't tell them about the industry. So what is your job? What can you do? Very simple thing is tell them about resources. They can find out more about the industry. Resources like Contact Center World. We're not the only one out there. But what about if you went back into your contact center and said, look, if any of you are interested in finding out about why this is such a good career opportunity, log on to Contact Center World. It's free. Go there, just dig around, play around, look for information. We don't do it because we don't always think about helping people find out more about the industry, but it's there in front of you. So what do you think about the idea of just telling people to go and look, let's go and have a look around? Do you like it or you don't like it? Anyone? It's simple. Doesn't cost a penny. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about AI. Who's actively deployed AI bots in their contact centers? If you have, put yes. Okay. Anyone done anything with AI? Okay, personally, I mean, we're all using it these days. AI is fantastic for lots of different reasons. Okay, but AI, people are just constantly, you put on the news. I was watching the news here in Turkey yesterday, okay, and they're talking about AI, how it's going to change and revolutionize the industry. And it's having this effect and that effect. But I'm going to play a short video because I came across this company who put together this video, and it's so true. Just watch this for a moment.
The AI advantage. Welcome to the age of artificial intelligence, where algorithms are at the heart of everything we do. Companies worldwide are adopting AI technology, believing it will give them an unbeatable edge. But as AI becomes more accessible, everyone's using the same powerful tools. With every company now wielding the same AI power, what was once a competitive advantage becomes an industry standard. No longer unique AI usage levels the playing field, putting everyone on equal footing. But when technology levels the playing field, it's human creativity and insight that will stand out. In an era increasingly shaped by AI, the unique perspectives, creativity, and empathy of people are more essential than ever to guide and humanize technological advancements.
For those of you who have implemented AI in your contact center business, has it had, if you think it's had the desired result you're looking for, give us a thumbs up. Anyone found it's given you exactly what you wanted, 100%? Okay. Those who say it hasn't yet, give us a thumbs down. Okay. So thank you. So, you know, reality is that AI is there. I'm going to play you a short documentary in a few minutes from a company, the world's #1 mega contact center, and what they do. And what's interesting is that, as you saw in this video, yes, we're all jumping on it, we're all using it. For a short term, it can be a differentiator, but you also need the human creativity. That's what we need to look at when we're developing our contact center businesses. And talking about this, here's another problem. Anybody have this problem that you have people from all over Turkey, maybe? How many of you have any people from outside of Turkey, like, you know, German speakers, Spanish, Italians? Anyone have any people from outside of Turkey? You guys do at Pusela. Okay. Anyone else? You guys do? Okay. Do they all bond together, or do they tend to stay in their own little groups? Do they, you know, if all the German speakers, do they all just stick together from all the, say, the Turkish speakers, Turkish people? Or do they all mix happily? Right, but in terms of the way they mix with each other, the way that they bond as a team.
Mixed group.
Okay.
I mean, in our company we have many colleagues from many different countries, and they're not sitting in groups according to their countries. They're all working together.
But outside, when they all then finish at the end of the day, or they go on their breaks, do they tend to stay in their own, like the Germans stay together or the Italians stay together? Is that what typically happens? Because it does happen in a lot of contact centers where you get people all from different regions of a country. Your country's big. You get people from the, you know, Asian side. Do they always mix well with the Europeans, or sometimes is there a little bit of a difference from different cities? People react differently. I'm going to show you what this company in Dublin in Ireland did, how they overcame, because they have loads of different languages. There's a sports betting company. This is the problem. They said, we've got all these different nationalities. How do we get them to bond? How do we get them to mix? So they came up with a really clever idea. And I like this one because they also talk about Turkey, you know. Okay, so they came up with this idea of culture days. Very, very simple concept. Doesn't cost you any penny. Okay, or any lira, I should say. So here's what they came up with. They basically developed and looked at, for the year, they looked at all the different nationalities they have in their contact center. And you can see there's more than just a few. And what they did is they said, how do we bring all these people together? Because they were finding the Italian people or the Danish people were all sticking together on their breaks. Out of work, they were all going down a pub at they're in Dublin, so they go down a pub. They go down a pub in their little groups. So they came up with a really good idea to create culture days. And I'm going to let one of their managers tell you a little bit about what they did.
Okay, so in terms of one of the key initiatives that we've had in our setup here was the Culture Club. And what this allows us to do is each day of the year, particularly based on each of the countries, and they get to celebrate that day as a part of cultural awareness across the whole business. One of the key things that they do is they sit down, they tell us about the facts, tell us about everything that happens in their country at that particular time, and breaks out, what their day is all about, and which proceeds to show you over here on their board. And then at the end of each of those weeks, we then get to sample a tradition of their foods. We found this to be extremely successful, actually, based on the fact that they've got the opportunity to share their thoughts and their wishes and everything that happens with their countries. We cover 26 countries in those 26 languages, so it gives them sort of also the opportunity to feel, even though they're in Dublin, the opportunity to feel a part of home in terms of what they want to do here. So Turkey's probably the best one, actually. The Turkish guys on their desks, they got in a situation where through the week they had a number of key activities. They had dancing, they had music playing, they came in dressed in traditional costumes. They had a fact day in terms of their key facts of their country, key traditional day in terms of different national days that they had, in terms of not just the particular feast of the sacrifice in Turkey. And then at the end of the week, that finished off in having a Turkish banquet where they did a number of different Turkish dishes, and the staff got involved in sort of delivering those. So you see the proudness sort of come out in the staff as well, getting to celebrate their day with us. And sort of from our point of view, it gives us the opportunity to sort of see what goes on in their country as well.
So that's just a very simple idea to get people to bond. What do you think of that idea? Good? Bad? We need to get you one of these. Okay. Yeah, but it's a simple idea, okay? A lot of ideas that we're presenting today do not cost any money. They're just simple ideas that you can do and try in your contact center. And that's what we'd like you to do, is if you like these ideas, make some notes, take them back, try them, and give us feedback. Did it work for you? Because then we can share that with other people and say, look, there's other organizations in different parts of the world who are doing it. Okay, who has this problem? Okay, that when it's busy, sickness increases. Some of you are in like the financial services business, some of you are in, businesses where you might get peaks. Who has peaks in their business? Where you get a lot of calls coming in, a lot of chats, emails. Do you have that? Yeah? What happens typically? Do you ever have this problem? Sometimes people get, I'm sick today. Yeah? Is there anyone else who has that problem? Okay. I know a few of you do because it's so common. You go into contact centers where they have high volumes and low volumes. On the high volume days, sometimes if staff know it's going to be busy, they don't come in. Some of them, they'll phone in, I'm sick today, because it's pressure, it's stress. They're going to be told, look, we got 50 calls in the queue, 500 calls, 5,000 calls in the queue. They don't like pressure. So how do you deal with that? Does anyone have a very unique way of dealing with absenteeism or people? Okay, anyone? Let me give you an idea, okay? This is an American outsourcing company. And what they did is they said, every year we run campaigns for customers, and when it gets busy, staff go on sick. It puts more stress on everybody else. And they struggled for a while until they came up about a very simple solution. They invented a superhero. Okay, let me Can anybody guess what the hero's name is? If you had to have a superhero to deal with this problem, what would you call your superhero? Any guesses? Come on, I've got money available if you want to win some money. Anyone? Okay. Sorry? Some buts. Well, let me show you, okay? They came up with a superhero, okay? It's not Batman, it's not Spider-Man, okay? It's not Thor from Marvel. They came up with Super Spike because they have spikes in volumes. So they invented Super Spike, okay? Now, let me tell you what Super Spike does. When they know they're going to have a busy week, they get one of their managers to dress up as Super Spike. Here he is. What they do is when it's Super Spike is around, the contact center is buzzing. It's literally alive. People love it. They want to go to work because it's one of the most exciting times of the year. It's a celebration. It's like Christmas or, you know, some other activity. They go in because everybody's excited. They make it exciting. This guy runs up and down the contact center. He gets everybody excited. They have some fun games. So people want to go to work when it's busy because they know Spike is around. He's created this atmosphere of, I'm a superhero, you guys are superheroes. Let's all work together and defeat the enemy. It's simple, but just works so well when you've got these spikes because, yes, you're still going to get some people calling in sick. You won't ever get away from that. But if you make it fun enough and you plan for it, you can get really good results in terms of reducing absenteeism. So if any of you invent a superhero, please let us know. We'd love to know how it works for you. Some companies have mascots. Do any of you have a mascot in your company? A company mascot? No, you do? No one? Okay. This is our mascot, Monty Moose. Okay, he travels with us around the world. He has his own Facebook page. There's a company I'm going to share with you, a small documentary. They have a mascot that every few years they change their mascot, and they think about the values that they're trying to bring into their contact center, and the mascot helps embody and get people thinking that's what we're here to do. But Spike is a great one. If you invent a Tanai, can you see yourself dressing up as Spike?
It's so funny.
But just imagine, if people would love it, if you make it fun enough, they will come. Okay, did you like that idea though? Yes or no? Well, you could try it. Okay, you didn't like it. Okay, you like the idea.
When the next year comes, then I think stop think about that. Any very busy days are coming, so they will of course say that we are sick. I think the solution is very easy, but is it stay sustainable or not? We should discuss about it.
Well,
the context should be changed, right?
Well, it depends. I mean, you might find if you keep the consistency there, people expect it, and therefore, if it's good, they will come. Okay, if you want to change it, change it. My challenge to all of you guys watching this is try it. If it works for you, give us feedback. We'd really love to know. And if you want to change it, change the theme, do something different, absolutely. But every contact center is different. Your center's different than yours and yours, and they're all different. But simple solution may be to deal with a problem that you all probably have. Now, who has this problem? You lose good, you train up people for years and then they leave. Does anybody have that problem? Okay. We all do. Yep. We all have that problem. Do you ever find those people come back to your business? Yes or no? They don't. They don't come back to you and say, I'd love to work for you again. What happens is when people leave, You may be familiar with the expression, the grass is greener on the other side. Who's heard that expression? Okay, which means it's always nicer over there. I'm going to go over there because they got better facilities. When you lose good people, they will not, in 99.9% of times, come back and say, I made a mistake. I should never have left. We've all lost good people in our businesses. This is a bank in Australia. They train some people for 7, 8, 9 years, and they lose that person. They lose all that knowledge, all that experience. So what did they do? They said, let's try something. Let's try a re-recruit drive. And what they did, I'll let you read this. They sent this to their people they valued the most who had left the company. This is an example. Now, do you know what happened? Some people phoned their general manager and said, yeah, I'd love to have a chat sometime. Let's go for coffee. And they rejoined the company. Just think, they've got somebody who came back who had 7 years experience, who made a mistake. But most employers just let people go, and we don't think about how do we bring the good people back. Not everybody, but just the good people. Give them an opportunity to engage, to have a chat with you, and it might just bring back, if it brings back one person, that's saved a lot of money for your organization. Because you think about the experience and knowledge that you spent training somebody up. So what do you think of that idea? Do you like it? Okay, is it worth giving it a go? Trying? Yeah. Yeah, not everybody, you don't want everybody back, because some people, you want to let them go. Okay, this is another idea. This was from a company in Toronto. They do food service, okay, for airlines. I visited their contact center, and they said, we really wanted commitment from our staff to deliver to our service, our values. And I said, how do you do it? And they said, well, we struggled for years. We told everybody this is what our values are, but we could never get people to really live them. Does anybody have this as a problem? Getting commitment from your staff to really live and breathe your company values all the time. Because if they don't, you have problems with them or they leave. So to a certain extent, almost every company has an element of problem. You want people to commit to you. If you're the CEO or you're the director, you want your team to be really committed so they deliver great service. This is what this company did. They came up with this solution called Hand It to Them. Now, how many of you have kids? Who has a kid? Just show this if you have any children. Okay? You're not sure? Oh, you have. Okay, so you have children, okay? What do you do with children to keep them amused when it comes to things like paints? You let them paint, don't you? You let them be creative. Do they ever get you involved in helping them paint? Do you ever get paint on your hands? Okay. Here's a solution this company came up with. They went to every single employee and said, look, we're going to paint your hand. We're going to paint your hand and we're going to put it on a board. And the adults go, like, okay, if you've got kids, you understand, yeah, it's kid stuff, playing with this. They put their handprints on the board. But they went one step further. And this is what makes this really unique. When you go into their contact center, you see all of these colored handprints. But on the back is what the commitment is. So how am I going to convert conversations to value? This is my commitment to the company. If I ever forget, I can go onto the wall and I can see what I wrote. Or if I forget, I don't go and have a look. Maybe my manager says, let's have a look at what you said you were going to commit to. What did you commit to? Do you think you're doing that, Raj? No, I'm not. Well, let's refocus. Let's get back to what you committed to do. Not only is it fun, it looks great, it's very colourful, and people walking into their contact centres like, what are all those prints doing on the wall? It's functional. So who likes that idea? I'm sure those of you with kids are thinking, yeah, I can do this for my kid, maybe get them to commit to keeping their room tidy and stuff like that. Yes, absolutely. It's their person. It makes them think about, why am I here? What am I doing? Why am I doing this job? What am I going to give to the company? And you can change it to whatever you like. But it's very colourful, it's very imaginative, and again, it doesn't cost anything apart from just a little bit of paint, and everybody loved doing it. Doesn't matter whether you were 16 or 60, everybody enjoyed doing this because they felt, yeah, I feel I'm involved. What about this one? Okay, contact centres are often seen as stepping stones. How many of you have people who you think work for you? They're young, they're 18, 19, 20, 21, just finished university, but they want to travel the world. So they come and work with you for a short amount of time because they're thinking, I want to travel while I'm young, I want to see the world, I want to be adventurous, I want to be a backpacker. Is that a problem that some of you guys have? It is. Most contact centres have that. When you hire young people, they all want to go and see the world and they want to be adventurers. And that's, you know, it used to be 20, 30, 40 years ago, it used to be just the Australians who did that. Now everybody in the world, you hire young people, they don't want to commit to you. So it's a problem. So what did this company do? They said, look, we have this problem. We hire young people, they're enthusiastic, they're dynamic, but we know they're going to leave at some point because they want to see the world. They just want to save a bit of money and go. And you lose a good person. And do they come back? No. They come back and go and work somewhere else. They don't say, I'd love to come and work with you. That's another problem. So what did this company do? They said, let's be creative and come up with a way that we can pay people to do what they want to do and let them travel the world. You might think that's crazy. Why would you want to just pay people and then let them go? You want to keep them. Well, the way that this company keeps them is they came up with this really creative scheme. Instead of paying you 100% of your salary, they paid you 80%. They keep 20% in reserve. Year 2, they pay you 80%. They keep 20% back. Year 3, they pay you 80%. They keep 20% back. Year 4, they pay you 80%, keep 20% back. They said to these people, look, you commit to us for 4 years. Year 5, we will pay you to go and travel the world. You're still getting paid by the bank. This is a bank. We're still going to pay you because you're still an employee. But you can do whatever you want in year 5. Now, not everybody wanted to do that, but they got some people who said, yeah, wow, I'd love to do that. The company is going to help me travel the world. I'm going to get paid for 12 months while I'm away. I'm getting a regular salary. I don't have to worry about saving it because the bank's taking care of it for me. And when I come back, I've still got a job. That doesn't cost the bank anything. In fact, they're probably saving because they're keeping 20% of the salary, but they're just keeping it aside for you when you want to travel on year 5. So they're saying to you, look, come and work for us. We'll give you the opportunity to travel the world, or if you want to start to have some sort of different hobby, you want to just, take a year off, do whatever you want, we'll help you. You commit to us, we'll commit to you, we'll pay you on year 5 a salary. What do you think of that idea? It's creative, isn't it? You didn't like that idea, no? So most people did like that idea, okay? But it's things that you could try. Okay, this one I'm just going to show you. This is a little bit of fun. This was an advert that was on Canadian TV about 6 or 7 years ago about artificial intelligence. Hopefully you will get this, okay? So there's not a lot of talking in it.
Yes. Please repeat the objective.
Okay, I just thought I'd throw that in there. Did you all get it? Yeah? Brainstorm? Okay. Okay, this is another company in North America. If I walk into your contact center, those of you who are running centers, if I walk into your contact center or any contact center, how easy is it for me to see who the top performers are? Would it be visible in anyone's contact center? If I walk in as a stranger and I go into your contact centers, would I be able to see who the top performers are? Easily. No one? Okay. What do you do? How would I recognize your top performers? So you have a board, okay. So you have like a leaderboard.
Yes.
Fantastic, okay. But if I just walked in the center and I didn't see that, how would I know who else is the top performers? How would I know who's new? How would I know who's just finished training? How would I know who's just got promoted? In most contact centers, you walk in and they look beautiful. They're really well designed. You know, you've got nice furniture, nice layout. But think of this, your CEOs, your C-level executives, when they walk through the contact center, wouldn't it be nice if they could recognize who the top performers were, who's just had the best week, who's just finished training? Because they can go up to those people and it gives them an excuse to say, well done, I see you've just finished training, congratulations, welcome aboard. Or, oh, I see that you're the top performer this week. Without having to go on a board, they can see it visually in the contact center. Would that, maybe color t-shirts, but you probably have to have a lot of t-shirts, but would that be of value to you? If you are CEO and you can walk into your contact center and instantly, without looking at a board, see who the top performers are, who's just finished training, who's just got recruited, who's celebrating their 5th anniversary with the company. Okay. Well, but if they're sitting down, it's hard to see. But I'm going to show you another tip, which will be from this is from an organization in Canada. I'm going to show you one from Australia as well in a few minutes, kind of similar to what you're talking about. What they do is they put flags up. They created all these just little pennants, these little flags where, you know, they just say, I've just wowed a guest, or I graduated training. They put these, they give flags to all of their staff. So the staff can, you as the director, you walk in your contact center, you immediately see who's doing what, who's going on, who's just graduated, who's the top performers. It's really rewarding because people love to get recognition. It's the deepest craving of human beings to be recognized. We all love being recognized for what we do. Yet most contact centers, and it's very rare you see this, most contact centers don't publicly display who the top performers are, apart from maybe on a board. If you walk in visually, it's nice if you're a manager, you can go up and congratulate people and they feel proud. They feel really honored that everybody recognizes where they are. What do you think? Good idea? Like it? Yeah? Yeah, well, lots of thumbs up, thank you. Okay. This is another one. This is going to Indonesia. Okay. They needed a low-cost way to give people long-lasting recognition. What do? In Indonesia, anyone, or I'll tell you what they did, okay? They came up with a Hall of Fame. So when you walk through their corridor, you don't just see a board of people, you actually see pictures of their top performers. So you see a picture of Maria, Via, they've got like all their history, all the awards and recognition they've got. There's me down there. That was when I was in Semarang in Indonesia, in their contact center. That's one of the people who's kind of That's his picture between us. And we were just trying to bend down. His name's Adjo, okay? But they have all their top performers, pictures, profiles. Everybody sees it. It's a hall of fame. You can't miss it. You walk past it. It's very, very visual and shows that if you're a top performer, we're going to showcase you. Simple idea. Like it? Yeah? Okay, how are we doing so far? Are we kind of covering some of the ideas? Yes or no? We're giving you some good ideas, maybe? Anyone know? We missing anything? Okay. This one I love. Okay, this is a shout out to Allotech as well. You go into most contact centers and you talk to the IT team. Where are they typically? In a room, in a little square box with lots of cables and lots of PCs and technology around, okay? Just think, okay, this is, give your IT people the freedom. Now, you can't always do this, but take them out, don't put them in a box because they think they need to be creative. There's this look, you can see some instruments over here, okay? Let your IT team, because they need to come up with creative solutions, don't just stick them in a little box and say, there they are. Give them a little bit of space. In this organization, they have bean bags, they have musical instruments, they've got a bar area, they've got swings, they've got running tracks. Now, I know you can't all do that, but just think about your IT team, okay? You keep them in a little box. Their ideas are too confined. Give them a little bit of space. Allow them to be creative, even if it's just painting the wall or doing something different. Let them do what they want to make them more creative, because it does work. I know I'm kind of expecting any time now that someone's going to get up and start playing the drums. But this is what, creativity is about. That. It's letting people just, I need to brainstorm. I need to think of a solution. What can I do? Okay. Who has this problem? You want to reduce turnover, increase engagement. Do you have that problem? You want to reduce people leaving. You want to increase their engagement. This is from Brazil. What they do, and this is a big outsourcing company, it's going to be obvious who it is in a minute. They have 12 happy days a year. Every month they have a happy day. And I'm going to show you what they do. Their happy days are they get people to dress up once a month at this BPO company, Teleperformance. And what they do is they give away prizes every month for the best dressed teams and things like that. And they let people be creative that one day. Now, if they also coincided it with their busy days, then they'll probably get more people coming in because every day is everyone's different. But they just do some really clever stuff. And here's what one they shared with us at our event in Greece back in October. So just think about, every month, try and look for an opportunity to celebrate with your team. Let them have some fun. They dress up. They want to have fun. Contact centers are not always the best places in the world to work. Why? Because you're under pressure. You've got calls coming in. You've got your boss screaming at you. You've got customers. It's a very pressurized environment. So you've got to look for ways to engage your staff, and sometimes it's simple things, and let them do all of that. You don't have to do it as a leader. Just let your staff come up with ideas and say, look, what do you want to do this year? Let them think of the themes. They'll do it in their own time, and then they enjoy it. They come to work happy, feeling good, feeling motivated, and your customers benefit because they have really good service.
They come up against the result of 0.5% transaction, right?
Yeah.
Was it correct?
Yes. Yeah, that was on the on one of the slides. If I just go back a little bit down here, it's yeah. Okay, and if you've got if you've got 1,000 agents, 10,000 agents, that's a big number. Starts working out as a big number. Okay, this one is from a telecoms company in Singapore. What they did is they said, look, the problem is we recognize contact centers are stressful. We recognize people are working 8-9 hours a day sometimes. They're under stress. We need to make people feel comfortable. So when they go for their lunch, when they go for their break, they need to have that comfort feeling, make them feel at home. They spend more time at work than they do at home for some of these people because of traveling time and everything else. So one of the things they did is they said, look, let's really work hard to make it a home away from home. So they didn't just put cafeterias in here. They put games rooms. They actually put couches in there, sleeping areas. Let's see if I got them. They did everything. They even gave them sleeping areas where people can just go and have a power nap for 30 minutes during the lunch break. They created games rooms that look like your living room. So you've got a little couch and a TV and your Xbox or whatever it might be. And they just said, look, we have to really give this environment so people feel at home. Not just a canteen, not just maybe a games machine, but let's make them feel that they're in a comfortable environment. And we all feel comfortable at home. Okay, this is building on one of the tips that we said a little bit earlier. Do your staff always have the same desk to work from? If they do, show us this. Do they always sit at the same place? How many of you have staff that sit in different places, maybe because you're a BPO company, you've got people coming in, you can't guarantee where they're going to sit? Any of you? You guys? Okay. So this is building on one of the ideas that Jen kind of alluded to in terms of people. Here's an issue. Imagine this, okay? You're working in a contact center. You've just joined. You're 3 weeks into joining in the contact center. Your team leader is in a meeting. The floor manager or the operations manager is in a team meeting. You have a problem. Who do you go and ask? Because all the people around you, they're all like you, they're new. Who would you go and ask? Okay.
Proficiency is giving the support when the agent needs to help, and then we have created a kind of starter kit for the agents, and they may see the many of questions to answer from there. And the last one, we have specified the AI agent, and the small group now using it, but we are trying to make it bigger than bigger, and this is our solution about it.
Okay, so you got a solution, but this is so common in contact centers. I went into this contact center and they had 500 people. Okay, and they should. As soon as I walked in, I spotted something, and it was really clever, and it was so simple. What they did is on the chair backs of everybody who had permanent chairs, they put the person's name, how long they've been with the contact center, 3 years. Simple. Because if I'm new and I can't see my boss, or I don't have a nice system, or none of my support around, I can probably go up to Sarah and she'll probably know the solution because it's visible. I know she's just joined. If I was a new person, my one would say Raj, and it would say on the back rookie or trainee. So she wouldn't come and ask me a question because she's going to think, well, Raj has only been here a short time. He's not going to know the answer. So what they did is in this contact center, when you walk in there, every chair has how long the person's been there, their name, and it makes it easy for people to network and communicate. Not only that, for the managers or the CEO, if the CEO walks in, he can just go up and say, hey, Sarah, how are you doing today? He doesn't have to remember everybody's name. It's there, it's visible. Now, we showed this at one of our events in Australia. And this St. George is part of Westpac, a big banking group in Australia. One of their competitors, Bank of Queensland, saw it. They went away. they took some notes and they said, we're going to make it better. And they did. So what they did is they went one better and they said, well, not only are we going to tell everybody how long this person's been here, but we're going to put a little bit of personalization on it. Allow them to say who their favorite teams are, maybe sports teams, things they don't like Kylie doesn't like tomatoes. So what does that do? It actually made people network a bit, because I would go up to Kylie and say, hey, I see your team lost on the weekend. And imagine that here in Turkey. Oh, Galatasaray. Who's a Galatasaray supporter? Most of you? Okay. Hey, you guys won. Well done. Okay, if I said that to you and you just won a match, you'd feel good. It's a way to communicate and help people communicate. So that's what they did. They put this on there and made it a little bit more personal instead of just the number of years. They actually put sports teams and let you do what you want. So that's somebody taking an idea and making it even better. Now, for those of you who don't have dedicated workstations, and there's a lot of companies that don't, I was over in Indonesia and I saw this other bank. They actually had little things they could stick on the boards, separating all their agents, where you could do the same thing, putting it on the board. So when the agent comes into work, they just put theirs on the board so everybody knows who everybody is. It's great for the managers. It's great for everybody else. And if anyone has a problem, they know who to go and talk to. Simple idea. Do you like that idea? Okay, well, I'm not seeing many of these, as many as I'd like to see. Okay, that's good, good. Okay, so that's building on what you were saying, okay? Instead of badges, put it on the back of chairs. Okay. You had some snow here a couple of days ago. Is that right? Sorry?
Not heavy.
Not heavy, but you have snow. What happens in your contact centers when you have snow? People go in there with dirty shoes and then you've got to clean it and all that sort of stuff. And yet so many contact centers are trying to go environmentally friendly. They're trying to go clean. They're trying to go green. Whose contact center is trying to go green? Or has green initiatives? Anyone? You guys, yeah? So, you know, when you think about going green, you think about waste disposal, you know, putting recyclables in different bins and things like that. Companies in certain parts of the world have been going green for many, many, many years. And I'm going to show you one, and there's a byproduct of this is really interesting as well. But how many of you actually thought about slippers? Anyone gives, okay, yes or no? Do you give your staff slippers to wear when they're in the contact center or in their business? Anyone? Okay, let me tell you a little secret. If you go to many of the Asian contact centers, you'll see people wearing slippers. Do you know why? Number one, it cuts down on cleaning in the contact center, because when people come in, they take their shoes off, they put their slippers on, and they walk, so it keeps it clean. Number two, noise reduction. Number three, employee engagement. You talk to agents when they're sitting there and they're wearing slippers, and you say, oh, I hate to see you wearing slippers. They proudly put their feet up and they say, yeah, it's really comfortable. I love it. So if you want to motivate your agents, maybe do what some Asian companies do, and that is allow them to wear slippers or even give them slippers. You're going to be environmentally friendly. You're going to reduce noise as people walking up and down, and your staff will love it. They will think they're coming to work and they're taking off their shoes and putting on slippers. It works. Has anyone seen that in a contact center here in Turkey? Anybody interested in trying it? Jake, you've probably seen it in some Asian organizations. They do. The staff love it. Now, the tumbler thing. There's a simple idea here, okay? Who has a contact center where you've got sinks and people leave dirty cups in it? Anyone? No? You all got really clean staff? I'm sure you don't. I'm sure every single contact center's got one or two people who they get a cup of coffee, and if they've got ceramic mugs, they leave it in the sink for someone else to clean up. Give people tumblers with their name on it. They're not going to leave it dirty in the sink because everybody knows whose it is. That's a trick I learned from an Australian company. So that's Martina's one. Okay. Anyone likes any of these ideas about slippers and mugs? Yeah? What I found, okay, is managers, though, in some of these contact centers, they don't wear slippers because they often have to go into meetings. Okay? And in one contact center I visited, the IT team has scooters to go up and down the contact center to get around really quickly, electric scooters. Okay? But slippers do work. I visited this contact center and I can't believe, seriously, people were wearing slippers and they were like falling to pieces, but they still love them because they're so comfortable. So think about it. Okay, anyone have this problem? People getting sick because repetitive strain injury or back pain, sitting down all day? Common in contact centers. Okay, what this company did, again from Asia, they instigated a health at work program. They said, look, we need to teach people. We need to educate them. We can't just expect them to come to work and not have any injuries. Does anybody do anything to teach? Do any of you guys do anything where you teach your people how to stretch and make sure they're ready for work? Do you do something? No? Okay, this is Australia. This is what they do. They get people to learn how to stretch. And they just do it in their teams. First thing in the morning when they get to work. The team comes in, they just do some basic stretching moves. This is just a short version. What they also do is they put in the contact center where people sit, just some simple exercises. Just some simple things to do because you're sitting there for 8 hours. Just reminding people, look, just stretch a little bit. And not everybody will do it, but why not just give them teach them a lesson, show them some of the things you could do. You're practicing it, yeah? But just think about that in your contact center because you do get people who are going to get injuries. They're going to get back pains. They're going to get repetitive strain injury on their fingers. And they're going to complain about the seats. Okay, did you like that idea? Just simple stretching, showing your team, getting them to do it, yeah? Simple. Have you not got one of these? No, we'll get you one. You can't share. Okay. How many of you make it very easy for your staff to give you feedback on their frustration? How many days, how many of you sitting in here right now, sit in your contact center at some point and you get frustrated with something, whether it's your computer system, whether it's someone else, and you get frustrated and you're, but you have you don't want to go and tell your boss. What happens if you tell your boss every time you get frustrated? What will they think of you? Will they say, yay, brilliant, thanks for that, thank you. Really good feedback, love it. No, what are they going to say? Oh, that Raj complaining again. What's it this time? Okay, we're human beings. We do not like getting lots of negative feedback, do we? So, but who has things like suggestion boxes? Okay. How do people give you feedback on their frustrations? Anybody? How do people tell you they're frustrated without you feeling they're complaining? Anyone have a solution? Okay. Okay, that's really good. So are you doing a survey every, could I fill in one of those every single day, any time, or do you only do it once a month, or was it any time?
We are and we are triggering it automatically. And whenever they want, they can fill the survey.
Okay. And did you get some good feedback and things that you can change? Yeah? Okay. I'm going to show you what a company in America did. This is a big chain of pharmacies. Okay. They came up with this "what drives your crazy world" idea. And this is it here. This is actually a really big pharmacy company in the States. They have stores all over the States. And they said, we want to get people giving us feedback. So they developed a system. And they got 30, this was going back to 2010, okay? This was when I got this idea. They said they got 32,000 feedback ideas in 2010. And what's interesting is the stats. 66% of the submissions helped us improve our team's knowledge. Okay, 7% helped us improve processes by asking for feedback. What's driving you crazy? And they came up with this really interesting concept. So what do we do at Contact Center World? Well, we came up with this. What drives you crazy at work? We developed a solution for contact centers. Totally free, not a penny, not a lira. Doesn't cost you anything. Okay, we came up with a solution. We liked this idea so much that we developed what drives you crazy at work. And the web address is simply crazy at work. So like your solution, you give this to your staff as a portal, a link, unique to your company. They go on there and they give you feedback. What's different about this, what we wanted to do was to say, well, thank you for your feedback. You can be anonymous, no problem. But what if you want to be part of the solution? Maybe you have some good ideas and you want to help implement those. So we also gave people an opportunity to be part of the solution and also to tell them how often it frustrates them. Because it might just be one time, or does it happen once a month, once a day? The more frequent ones, maybe there's an issue we need to deal with faster. So we developed what drives you crazy at work. You're all welcome. You can go onto the website. You can sign up to it for free, use it in your contact center, and you as leaders can get information on what is frustrating your team. This is it here. I'll just play just a minute or two of this so you can see what this does. You'll actually be giving your employees a link to a page where they can submit feedback. So they'll go to this page and they will put a code in here which is unique to your organization. Now, to get your unique code, simply go to this page and there is a register link. I've already logged in, so I have my account link here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my account and I'm going to get a code and I'm going to replicate or simulate what actually happens when an employee fills this in. So, as an employer, you can allow us to email your employees with a code. You can provide your employees with an ID and a web link, or you can send them a code directly. If I show you all three of these, this one is a code you can just send to your staff. It's already got your embedded ID in here, so this is unique to your company. The second option is this one, where basically you give your staff a code, or you can embed it on your website and put a nice little logo on it to say, hey, we'd love to get your feedback. Tell us what frustrates you every day at work. And they can input this code. The third option is we can email your employees. You can put your email addresses in here of all your staff. And what will happen is that we will email them and they will then get an invitation to participate. But let's go through one of these options. So for this demo, I'm going to take this code and imagine I'm an employee. And I come to, I've been asked by my company to let them know whenever I'm frustrated. So imagine this, I'm on your website, you're on the intranet, and there's a link there. It's a nice little button that says, hey, tell us what drives you crazy at work. We'd love to know. So I, as the employee, get a link directly to this page. I put in my code. I go to submit feedback. What the system does is allows you to enter any feedback that you want. Okay, So this is one of your employees. They're probably frustrated that every day people just can't be bothered. They leave empty cups in the sink. And let's just do a spell check here. Dirty. Okay. Then what they do, what actions would you take to fix them? So I can actually give suggestions. Maybe. Okay, so I'm giving a suggestion. Now, I then can say, if you had to rate the item above us with one of the following, what would you really say? It really drives me crazy every day. Or it could be occasionally drives me crazy, because it sometimes happens. Maybe the systems go down or something else. But this one really bugs me every day. It really drives me crazy. Now, I have an option. I can actually be anonymous as the employee giving feedback, or I can leave my name. If I leave my name, I'm also prompted to answer a question. Would you like to be part of the solution? Would you like to help us fix this? That just gives you just a simple idea about what drives you crazy at work. You can do it, use it for free, get really good feedback, and implement some of those things that are frustrating the staff. Because honestly, if you go into any company, whether you're a bank, an insurance company, any organization, not just a contact center, there's always little things that frustrate people. And if you can get rid of those little things, you've got a better business. But it's hard, because I walked into one contact center and they had a massive wall, okay? It was maybe 10 meters long, and people could go and write things on there. This frustrates me. There's no toilet paper today again, okay? They put things like that on this board. And I said to the manager, but don't you recognize whose handwriting it is? Just like on comment cards. Don't you recognize it? He said, yeah, we do. We know who's putting these comments on. And also, it's public. So people are walking by all the time. So am I going to write something on there because people are going to see it's me writing something? I said, yeah, that's a problem. So we came up with this. We said, why don't you just give people an opportunity to make it simple? Now, do you like that idea about having something that you can just get ongoing feedback, free, simple? Yeah, it's very similar to what you were suggesting, or what you guys were doing. Okay, try it. Let us know what you think. Now, here's another thing. How many of you do lots of things all throughout the year for your contact center to keep your people happy? Do you do things, try and keep them happy every single time? You have lots of activities, maybe parties, anniversaries, celebrations, yeah? Do they remember everything you've done? They don't. They very quickly forget all the good things that you do in the year. So how about if you pinch an idea from this company in Portugal and you come up with an annual activity plan? Make it very big and public, all the things that you do for your contact center people. When you have celebrations, when you have Christmas parties, or you have office celebrations, when you have sports days, when you do this, when you do that. Put it up for a whole year. Your team are not going to forget very quickly what you've done for them. And in fact, if you put it up in advance, they're going to really look forward to a lot of these things. Do any of you have this sort of annual calendar to tell people what's going on or what you've been doing? Do you think it's going to cost a lot of money to do that? No? Just put something up to show, and this organization, they put little icons to show what's happening when there's holidays, you know, when there's religious celebrations, whatever it might be. And we're going to take a break, but before we do, I'm just going to cover this. Have any of you calculated how much it costs your company because you lose staff? Anyone calculate? You have, yeah? How much is it per person, or any? Can you just throw out a figure? A lot. Okay. Well, it's not just the cost of losing that staff member, but it's also them going and telling their friends, oh yeah, I used to work there, I don't work there anymore. That negative word of mouth, the negative effect on other staff who say, oh, that person's left and I like them. Stress. Okay, there's a lot of things that go into employee engagement. So what we actually suggest you guys do is who does annual surveys in your contact center? Anyone do annual surveys to see how motivated your staff are? Anyone do monthly surveys? Okay, think about this. I'm just going to get you to think about this, okay? You do an annual survey, maybe the beginning of the year for the previous year. What's happened to all the other 11 months of that time frame? People are going to very quickly forget what's happened in the past 11 months. What we did, okay, I saw a bank in Australia, they did monthly surveys. So what did we do? We created Top Place to Work. We created a survey tool for contact centers to get feedback monthly. And what's really interesting about this is A, you can get certified as a top place to work. B, you get really good stats on favorable scores, and also how important are those to the employee, because you might think, oh, this top one up here, 98% is they love the recognition we give them. But you start looking at your staff, do they think it's very important as well? So we actually have this program called Top Place to Work. You can try it free for a month. Really important to measure monthly how your employees are engaged. And this is used by most of the top contact centers in the world now. It's a global standard. So even if you have a contact center here and you have one in a different country and other ones all over Turkey, you can set benchmarks across all of your different contact centers to see how they're performing, how engaged your team are. You can also get certified as a top place. Not a great place. Great place, if you do Great Place to Work, it's an annual thing. Top Place to Work is like a GPS. People are saying this is more like a GPS because we're getting ongoing feedback. We can deal with it. If we find out, you know, in June there's a problem, we can deal with it. If we find out in July, August, September, every month you can do it. And you can now also create custom surveys. So say, for example, you want to find out, you know, is the working environment good? Or customize your questions, you can do it. This actually is being used. There's a client of a BPO company in South Africa who said to their BPO company, we need to make sure the staff working on our campaigns are engaged because we're paying you lots of money. They insisted that this BPO company uses a tool. The BPO company picked Top Place to Work, and every month the client gets statistics from Top Place to Work on how their employees working at the BPO are engaged in the program. And the client actually will the client will penalize the BPO company by 4% if the BPO company's employee engagement scores are too low. Okay, so the client is insisting we need to know the staff that you're giving us are really engaged. And 4% to a BPO, 4% of their revenue is a lot of money because BPOs work off quite small margins. They do high volume, but small margins. So if you use a BPO, maybe say to your BPO, look, we want stats from Top Place to Work because it's verified by the Global Association. If you're a BPO, you offer it to your customers and say, look, we'll give you engagement scores. We're so confident in what we're delivering, it sets you apart from every other BPO. So just think about the opportunity of getting feedback on a regular basis. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break. Some of you, I know, probably want to rush downstairs. Some of you might want to rush to the end of the corridor. Some of you might want to get some food. You're very welcome to stay here as well for that. But let's just have a quick 5-minute recess. And I've got loads more quick tips for you, okay? Lots of really good stuff coming up. How are we doing so far anyway? Everybody feeling, yeah? Anyone? No? Okay. Well, if there is, come and talk to me. Let me know what you want to get. And I can also change some of the slides. Okay, but let's take a quick 5-minute break. Eski, are we good with that? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Please, just if you need to have a quick break, or just stay here and we'll carry on. Or you can ask me some questions, anything that you want. just Martina made a very good point, and that is there's some Turkish companies who are using Top Place to Work in Turkish language as well. It's available in lots of different languages if you want to make it easy. And you get to see all the results real time. If you start using it, you give a survey out. It takes, guess how long it takes to set up Top Place to Work?
5 minutes?
3. 3 minutes. You can be up and operational and start measuring employee engagement. Okay, here's another idea. I got this from an American company. This company has been certified by us as world class. They wanted a very instant way to recognize rewards and reward people. So they came up with this high five concept. And what they do is they have a program to get people to encourage positive behavior. And they give you a high five card. And every time you do something amazing, someone comes along and they fill in this card, they write down why you got it. When you've got a high five card completed, you can exchange it for Amazon gift vouchers. We're getting a little bit of feedback over here as well. I'm not sure if we can adjust the microphone a bit. But they do it, basically, they get high fives, this card, and they exchange them for Amazon gift vouchers. What this company also does is they have a WOW program. This company does, by the way, what they do is display systems. Nothing sexy, really, in the sense of, you know, apart from displays, exhibitions, things like that. But they have this lapel pin. See, it says awesome on it. They give this to staff who do really good things. And what happens is staff wear these, or they put them on a big pin board where they sit. I'm just going to pass this around. So we'll start here. Just pass it around so you can see what it looks like. And they give these out to people as a pin. Does anybody do that in their contact center? Anyone do that? Yes? No? Okay. Very simple concept, very low cost, but it gives people that pride. If they're wearing their pins, everybody can see they're really good at wowing customers. And here's some of the examples that they've shown us. If you look at Krista, this is her pin board. Look at how many wow pins she's got. So her bosses and her boss's bosses, when they walk into the contact center, they can see Krista is really good at wowing customers. Very simple concept. Do you like that idea? Just giving people little pins so they can pin them up and show that they're really good at wowing customers. Like it? Here's another one. This came from Kazakhstan. This is a telecoms company. They did a similar thing. So again, if you pass that round, some companies are really good at recognizing their employees and the stuff they do to set themselves apart. So think about that. Think of maybe having a program where the really top performers get recognition that they can publicly display. We've all worked in companies where you get a recognition letter or a pat on the back once a year, or you get invited to win an award, but this is all year round. This is a company in Asia again. If I went to any of your contact centers and asked your staff, what's the company mission? What are the company values? Will all your staff know? Yes or no? Will they know what the company mission is and values are off the top of their head? This company, they came up with a very unique way to do it. Now, if I go into your contact centers, do I see nice pictures, motivational pictures, and, you know, showing like, you know, scenery and things like that, and big motivational quotes? Any of you do that in your contact centers? Have pictures, motivation? What do you have? Blank walls? What do you have on your walls then? What do you guys have? You can't, you're not going to say? Okay, you're doing okay now. Okay, most contact centers you go into, they're either plain or they put motivational pictures or motivational quotes to say, yeah, we're going to make you motivated. But What do you really want your staff to do? You want them to live and breathe the company mission and values. So what does this bank do? They display it everywhere. You go into their meeting rooms, you see their vision and their mission. You see all these little icons. It's on every single pillar. So they have pillars in their contact center. You see those everywhere. So no matter where their agents look, they're constantly being reminded of what the company mission is. They don't have any nice pictures of scenery and seas and things, mountains. They put their values and missions everywhere. So they're constantly drilled into them. Sorry? Yeah, exactly. It's there all the time. Every single meeting room you go to. Okay, I'm going to talk about this, okay? Do you all want to increase customer experience and sales, reduce turnover, add more profits to the company? You all want to do it, yeah? I'm going to play for you a very short documentary on the world's #1 contact center. And this is a company in Asia. They bring together people, technology, strategy, and a little bit of us into their business. And I want to show you what they do. This is called Unstoppable. Together, we created a documentary about their contact center. This is a short version. Please watch it and you'll get some really good insights into how this company is using technology with people and engagement to deliver amazing results. And just to put it in perspective, this bank used to be terrible. They were terrible, and they say it on the video, okay? They used to be really poor service. They are the #1 banking brand in the world. They get 70% of their 70% of new account openings in Indonesia go to this bank. 70%, 15,000 new customers a day go to this bank. BCA. How did you guess? Wadhwani, how does it feel? Hello, BCA is world class and a role model for contact centers.
It was a long and difficult journey. Contact center was not a favorite place to work, but we changed it. Contact center is a happy place full of smart, creative, and hardworking people who want to be the world champion. We want to be the best. In 1995, Hello BCA was just a small hotline center. But we are growing from service center, a contact center, a solution center, and now center of digital services.
That's really good, Wadhwani. But why are BCA so concerned about the contact centers?
Our Deputy President Director will explain to you, Raj.
If you want to see how well a company operates, look at its contact center. Every contact point with the customer is important, especially when the customer is emotional. When they need help, they need information, they need solution. Customers may forget what the company does for them, but they will never forget how they felt. So if you can deliver the best solution, you will be remembered forever. In the early 1990s, BCA became successful in the payment settlement solutions. Our number of customers increased from 600,000 to 4 or 5 million in 5 years. We added 300 branches around the country. Then we had long lines, so we had to roll out ATM machines, thousands and thousands of ATM machines. Then, when we opened our mind, we accept our customer complaints. Only then we realized how lousy our contact center was. So when customers try to call us, we don't have enough lines to get in. If they do get in, we have long waiting time, and our customer agents were not trained, leaders were not trained. We were just not focused. We need to fix this. It starts with people.
All right. Today we will talking about something very close to my heart. Something that makes the greatest companies succeed. Something that builds LBCA to what it is today. LBCA is not about one person. It's about the team. Super team. Success comes from supporting each other and working together.
People always ask me, will technology replace our job? No, it won't. But people with technology can replace it.
How do you typically get in contact with Hello BCA? A quick chat, a call, or even our social media channel? No matter how you do it, we've made sure it's easy and seamless. Our omnichannel strategy ensures that everything is connected, so the experience remains smooth whether you start through the apps, a call, or a chat. And forget about long verification steps. Voice and face biometric make it quick and safe. With instant help, the Hello BCA app and AI chatbot Kira are always by your side, 24 hours, ready to assist.
When you contact Hello BCA to open an account online, you're already experiencing the power of AI through digital KYC. This smart system handles verification seamlessly, ensuring a smooth and secure process. And once you become our customer, we can predict your needs and provide personalized product recommendation, making every transaction more relevant by understanding your behavior, transaction, and
How continues to evolve with the business landscape to remain top of mind. I'm committed to advancing Hello BCA as the next level contact center that deliver exceptional experiences and drive business impact.
Edwin, really good to have this opportunity to talk to you. Tell me, where does the contact center fit in to the overall structure of Bank Central Asia?
Raj, in my view, a contact center is no longer just a cost center, but a strategic business enabler that drive growth through data-driven insight. By leveraging big data, contact centers can analyze the voice of customer or VOC to identify unmet needs, predict trends, and create personalized experiences. In a banking context, analyzing call pattern and customer feedback allow the bank to develop innovative financial products, optimize digital banking services, and enhance customer loyalty, turning insight into revenue and generating opportunities.
Raj, let's talk about service to sales, such as insurance, loan, in every potential inbound interaction. We leverage every business opportunity by matching the data we have with the agent skills to approach and probe deeper into customer needs.
What we love most about the contact center will be that it's the competition. It's the best place to improve your competency, to meet competitors. Competitors are people who are similar to us. We have similar problems, so we can learn from each other. It's great. And competition can be terrifying. There's fear, and fear stands for forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. And if you want to improve, it will not get any easier. It will get tougher. But if you persist, you will win. Winners never quit. and quitters never win.
I was the first person to represent how BCA and Indonesia in contact center world. In 2009, as Indonesia's sole representative at Contact Center World in Vegas, I carried the hopes of BCA and my country. Joining the Contact Center World Conference has been an incredible journey for me.
It's opened my eyes to the possibilities, helped me unlock my potential, and connected me with incredible people.
Since I was a kid, I tried to convince my mom that one day I could go to London. Contact Center World has become part of my dream journey, and my mom was the one always waiting for the news if I won or not. But in 2023, I lost my mom. It is a year after the Contact Center World event in Malta, and it's after I visited London. But I know I have made my mom proud. I first came across Bank Central Asia in 2009 when I met Wadhwani. She came along to one of our conferences to present how they're running the contact center. And I've had the opportunity of visiting in 2012, and here I am back again, 2025, and I've seen a tremendous growth. Hello BCA have been so successful because they realized from the outset, people make the difference. They are the organization that every contact center should be looking at and saying, how do we follow in their footsteps? What can we do? So I want to congratulate Bank Central Asia. They are pioneers. They are the best. I've seen massive growth in their contact center and to deliver truly world-class service. And you want to go and see it? Well, come over to Indonesia where I am. And if you can't make it to Indonesia, come along to one of our events. You'll see what makes these guys very special.
Well done.
I wanted to share that with you now, just to give you a bit of the backstory, okay? My main contact, Natalia Wani Sabu, was leaving. Some of you have met her, I think, over the years. She was leaving. So I thought, oh, who's taking over? So I contacted them and I said, I'd love to come and do a quick interview with whoever's taking over, interview Wani Sabu. And they said, no, as they do in Indonesia, no, we'll take care of it. They hired a professional AV team. I went there, they put this all together, and they said, this is what Contact Center World means to us, how valuable it is. And the results they shared on there is because they put people first. They focus on their people, not just, yes, they win corporate awards, but they said the most important, most valuable asset we have, the differentiator, is our people. When you phone BCA, you get a smiling, happy person who can deal with you. They've got the best technology, best people. Put it together, and yeah, AI will not replace them. AI will actually enhance them to deliver even greater services. So when you get involved with us and you come along to some of our events and you see BCA, you will see frontline agents. Most organizations would never let a frontline agent represent their company on stage. There's that fear. They do, because those agents then go back into the organization and tell every single other agent, look what I've achieved. And those agents become leaders. And it basically is a self-fulfilling journey. By looking after your agents, those agents then encourage other agents to do the best because they want to be like all the agents who have got promoted. So they put this whole video together. I was really fortunate that they took care of us. They showed us around. They let us meet with agents. And that's a short version of the documentary. I was there for 3 days talking to agents. And as you saw in the statistics, most of their agents are really young kids. It's their first job, but they take care of them. So in your contact center, yes, invest in technology. Look at the great whizzy, flashy stuff. But the most important asset you have is your frontline people. Because when I phone your contact center, yeah, technology will get me through faster. Maybe it will give me solutions. But when I speak to your agents, they are the most important person in your company at that moment in time. How they make me feel makes me either want to work with your company again or go and look at a competitor. So please do not undervalue your agents. Too many companies focus on leaders. They give you guys the best training. They give you the best opportunities. Yet customers, they don't talk to you. They talk to your front line, maybe 100 times a day. Now, here's another idea. But anyway, if you'd like that video and you'd like me to send you the full version, because it's got a lot more detail, just let me know. You've got my contact details, so I'll happily share it with you. Okay? It's really, really powerful because they go into a lot more detail. And you see some of the video technology they're using. They're really creative, this organization. But at the end of the day, people. People, people, people. This is a really interesting one. Again, to get people in your teams to work together, this organization in Australia, it's a completely different bank, they created team flags. What they did is, I'll let them explain what they did. They wanted to get their team bonding. So they came up with team flags, and they're going to talk about a flag that the team created.
So the way we came up with the flag is through a team meeting. It was the very first time that we were together as a team, and it was pretty much coming up with a symbol, but also the matter of the flag is to comprehend pretty much what what it means to the bank, to the CSR, to the staff, and it's also to the customer. It's going to be a benefit to all three. So it's going to symbolize something for everybody. With UFC, so Ultimate Financial Champions, that's a team name they came up with. It was pretty much, it just symbolizes the pride they have within their team. And every time we get 100% in customer service, so for Roy Morgan, that's what we get, is we get to fly our flag with pride. Within the flag, we've also got signatures of everybody that actually joins the team, so just as a symbol that who was present at the time. And also we have our team vision. So with the vision for us specifically is to be ultimate champions, by rising up to the challenge of our rivals and delivering knockout service to be simply the best. So yeah, the vision, like I said, symbolizes everything for the CSR, the customer, and the bank. Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. It's just a sense of pride. You know, the guys have gone above and beyond what they had to do, just not just everyday role. So when they talk to a customer, it's a 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10 service, which is a reflection of why the flag is flying.
That's just a really simple concept. If you've got teams, let them be proud when they overachieve or achieve their targets. Let them create a flag and fly it in a contact center so everybody knows that teams really perform well, they've achieved their objectives. Let the team create the flag. In your different contact centers, if you've got teams of people, they'll be really creative and coming up with something. And we just, talking about AI a bit earlier, okay? We're all dabbling with AI, doing little things. We said to AI, what would our contact center world flag look like? Do you want to have a look? You interested to see it? Yes or no? So again, you can be creative, use technology to maybe get a team flag created for each of your teams. Let them be creative with AI. This is what our team flag would look like. Okay? It kind of encompasses what we do as an organization, everything from awards to innovation to networking. We like to think we're fun. We like to think that we are dynamic. We're established in 1990, all those little things. So maybe a simple idea is just to get your teams to come up with a team identity, but they only raise it when they're successful. If they've had a successful week, successful month, successful day, and they've hit their objectives, then everybody else is going to know they're being successful. Simple idea. Do you like that? Yeah? Okay. This one, okay, I don't know if any of you have ever heard this. We make decisions and we forget the customer. Who does that in their company? Let's be honest. We all do, don't we? From time to time, we make a decision and somebody says, but what about the customer? Are we doing it for the right reasons? Okay? Be honest. I think most of us, we make decisions. and we forget the customer. What about if you bring a customer to every meeting, internal meeting? Would you ever do that? Would you put a customer in your contact center when you've got a meeting and say, look, customers over there, let's see what they think. Let's not forget about them. Would you do it? Yes or no? Yes? You bring, okay. But would you do it every single meeting? When you're talking about profitability, when you're talking about systems, when you're talking about doing this, doing that, would you bring in customers? Okay. Most organizations, no, never. But what if we have a solution for you? Okay. How about bring a customer to every single meeting? Meet Sassy. Okay. Sassy goes to every single meeting in this organization. She sits there patiently. She's there, she's listening. Sorry? She doesn't take notes, but she's just there, okay? She could do. I mean, you could plug in a bit of AI potentially, but to transcribe this, but she's there all the time. What does Sassy do? She reminds everybody that the customer, we need to make sure that every single decision we make involves a customer. Let's make sure we're doing it for the right reasons.
This is Sassy. So Sassy actually represents the customer to us. She comes along to all our important meetings. So if we have any management meetings, or if I have any team meetings, my customer experience people, Sassy is always present. The reason why Sassy is here is to always remind us to keep the customer as the central point of focus. So whatever we're discussing, whatever initiatives we're looking at implementing, whatever changes we're looking at making, we always need to consider the customer. Sometimes when Sassy wasn't here, you can sort of have conversations that veer off into different directions. Sassy is a good point of, a good anchoring point, just to make sure that we do keep the customer in mind at all times and consider that ultimately anything that we do, whether directly or indirectly, is for our customers. So we need to add value to our customers' interactions with us and to make it a better experience when they call through and speak to our staff. So Sassy is very vital. I've had a few meetings with Anton where Anton says, okay, Sassy's here, let's go back on point and let's remember that what we're trying to do is get a better outcome for our customers. So it's an excellent anchoring point, and Sassy's here to stay.
So there you go. This organization has a customer at every single meeting. It's a visible indication, need to make sure we don't forget the customer. And as he said, if you go off target, do you like that idea?
Very good idea, but there is a counterpoint. So we are trying to encourage our people to visit customers. So
Right.
might go like,
Yeah, this-
don't visit them anymore. It's here and in a meeting room.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. We're not trying to say replace all those good things that you guys are doing. Far from it. But we're just saying, wouldn't it be nice if every time you had a meeting, you've got a customer in the room so you don't lose focus? Simple concept. Here's a picture of Sassy at one of our events in the States. Okay. There's a better picture. She was sitting there for the whole day. Nobody realized it was a mannequin until when they got up on stage, they said, meet Sassy. She's sitting there in the front row. They had some interesting comments when they smuggled Sassy in a suitcase going through US customs. But very simple point, okay? If you can identify, create some sort of identification, so when you have meetings, you always have customers present so you don't lose track of why you're doing it. And it's very simple to say, what's the customer getting out of here? They're sitting here. What are we doing for them? Focus point. That's what it is. Do you like the idea? Yeah? You're all going to go out and buy, I should sell mannequins. Who wants No, I don't know where you can get one around here. Probably go to one of the retail stores. But anyway, this is a bank in Japan, a securities company. I went to visit them and I saw this system they had. And they said, how do we get our staff to visualize our customers, to actually get better at trying to identify them? Anyone here been to Japan? Yeah. Okay. There are very unique ways that you deal with people in Japan, depending on their age. Okay. Out of respect, you talk differently to different people. And in a lot of cultures, you do that. What they said is, look, we're securities. People, we don't know what they look like. But what about if we could visualize it and give the agent some visual identification so the agent could see potentially the type of person they're talking to on the phone? So what this securities company did is they came up with this solution, and they said, look, let's put a picture up, a visual picture of potentially the type of customer who you're talking to, so you'll adapt your style accordingly. Very simple idea, but it actually helps them deal with customers better because they then know approximately the type of person they're dealing with. And I'm sure in a lot of your contact centers, you probably do not know what the customer looks like. You don't have their photos. So if you've got a different way to identify and help your agents match them, it might give you better results. Anyway, anyone like that idea? Just putting a visual image up? You'd have to talk to your IT department. Maybe a bit more complex. Good? Bad? Okay, what about this one? How do you match customers to your team and maximize CX? Now, we all use call routing, don't we? Based on skills of agents and things like that. You know, press 1, go through your IVI, press 1 if you want to talk about this, want to talk about that. Well, what about improving the conversion rate? Would any of you like to improve the conversion rate to sales when a customer calls in? Anyone? I'm sure you do. If you're in sales, you want to increase your conversion rate. If you're a bank like this organization, when a customer calls in, you want to route them to the most appropriate agent. This was done even years before people started talking about big data. What they did is they did customer matching. Very simple concept. They looked at the data and they said, our consultants along the top here, we have male and female consultants. We have customers, male and female. Let's match them. Try and match them so when a 55-year-old male calls in, okay, let's connect them with anyone in green, because that's where we've got the highest conversion based on all the data they've collected. They mapped out this and said, let's look at the green areas and try and do call routing based on who is going to be most effective at dealing with that customer by looking at the demographics, the age groups of the customer and the age groups of the agents. Anyone done that? It's if you've got data in your contact center, just start mapping it on the ages of the customers. If you know the customer's age of your agents, you might find some interesting patterns, and you might start thinking, well, let's always route, you know, if we're talking to an older woman, let's route her through to, you know, if we've got a customer, male customer, 18 to 30, let's put them through to the older 55 plus females. We get better conversions. But I don't know many contact centers who actually go to that level and try and match on data that they might readily have available, like age groups. If you know it, maybe use it. Do you like that idea? You don't like that idea?
Yes. Applicable. If we in Japan, Korea, or even if China, it will be applicable. But Turkey and the other countries may not be.
What you're doing is you're just looking at your data and seeing if there's a correlation. It may work, it may not work. But, you know, it's interesting in that this was actually done in Australia. So it's not Japan or anywhere like that. It's Australian bank. So
that's a big point out, but in my perspective, it's not applicable for our country, for the customer behaviors. Because when the customer calls us, if it's the angry, if he or she is angry, it can be a kind of help. Conversation can be turned kind of help.
well, you make an interesting point, but let me just ask you this question, okay? Just to think about it. You're an 18-year-old male. You're angry, okay? Who is best?
I don't know how to use computer and smartphone.
Right, but say you phone a contact center. You're an 18-year-old kid, okay? Male, 18-year-old. who do you think is best suited to deal with you? Would it be another 18-year-old male, or would it be maybe somebody who's maybe 55 plus female, and you don't want to offend them, you just lower your tone, you talk a little bit differently? That's what this is doing.
My age, and I can prefer to be a male.
Right. It depends. I mean, everybody's different. This is just kind of like a broad, large data map, big data map. It's not 100% perfect, but for this bank, it worked. So it's just another way to look at routing based on who your customers are, the demographics, and things like that. So that's a way to see it. If you want to look at some data, you might find some interesting trends. And, you know, there's a lot of purples in here. There's some greens and some yellows. It's just a mixture based on what this bank found.
Is this the actual?
Yes.
Mapping table?
Yeah.
So if we fire males, it is enough to have happy customers. Because ladies are
Okay, you might get into trouble with employment law and things like that. But okay, again, this isn't to say we throw out all the good stuff you're already doing. It's just another way to look at your data. And you know, if you're selling female products and you get rid of all your females, it's not going to work either. This is another Japanese company. They said, we call customers, we waste a lot of effort. Who in this room does outbound calls? Anyone do outbound calls? No one. You do outbound, okay. You do outbound calls, okay. Most of the time when companies schedule for outbound, okay, they waste a lot of effort. Okay, you might use dialers to try and get through and, you know, to get past all of that in different countries. But, sorry? Okay, well, let me just show you what this company did. They said, we're going to change our outbound approach. What they did was very simple. They wanted to improve the hit rate when they're catching customers. And what they did is they actually asked customers, when they were signing up new customers and when they had a chance to talk to existing ones, when they asked, when would you prefer not to be contacted by phone? In this country, people have certain routines they get into. And what they found is that people would tell them openly, well, don't ever call me at 3 o'clock because that's when I have lunch. Don't call me at 8 o'clock because that's when I go to bed. Don't call me on Tuesdays because I'm out doing something. So they got customers to tell them when you should not call them. Therefore, it opened more opportunities for when you could call them. Just a different approach, totally different. You know, if you do outbound calls, and we've all done it, I've worked on outbound campaigns, you get your agents and they phone up and say, okay, so you're busy now, when's a good time to call back? And most people say, oh, call me back tomorrow. And you call back tomorrow and you don't get an answer because maybe I'm out doing something. So just a simple idea. I'm going to rattle through a few of these very quickly, go through. New mums and dads, okay, they never come back. They have their baby, the mums do. But they don't come back. And that's a problem. Does anyone have that as a problem? Come on, you must do. I'm sure if someone, yeah.
It's a big problem for us.
It's a big problem.
Yeah, because we are still selling the electronic retail. If the fathers that will not buy the PlayStation, we cannot keep it in our storage. Okay. That's a problem.
Okay. Well, look, what this company did is they created a magazine. They said, look, you know, we know you're going to be off for 6, 9 months, 12 months. Let's create a magazine, send it to you monthly, tell you what's going on in the contact center, keep you informed. This could be done electronically, could be done in print format. Keep the people connected to the contact center. Have an excuse to contact them once a month with a monthly magazine, an update, stories, useful tips as well on how to be a new mum or dad. So they find value in it, but it also has stories about who's doing what in the contact center. And this organization, when they did it, they actually found people would stay in touch with the contact center, and when they want to go back to work, they go back to the same contact center. They don't look for a new job because they think the contact center really cares about me. Here's another idea, okay? This is a company in South Africa, MultiChoice. They wanted to have some campaigns and they said, how do we get young kids to embrace our campaign goals? And what do most young kids do these days with their phones? Apart from look at YouTube and go through all their Instagram and that, what else do they do with them? Every opportunity, they're taking pictures. What did this company do? Hey, we know our staff love taking pictures of themselves. They take selfies. Let's create a program called Selfie Warriors. Let's get them to take photos with a mirror. And on the mirror, they printed in reverse what the campaign objectives are. So the staff would go out and take pictures because they love taking selfies. And then it had the campaign objectives. They took it and it's like, oh, look, this is what we're going to be doing. Simple ideas. I'm going to skip that one. Let's come back to this one. Come back to this one. I'm going to skip some of these. Okay. Do your staff love food as incentives? Do any of you give food? Okay, we've got food here. What do most people do? They go to food, okay? At the end of this session, everyone's going to go to the food. Most people will, okay? People love food at events. Staff love food at your contact center. Do you give them food sometimes? Do you ever give them food? No? You don't feed them? You don't give them like... I don't believe this. I'm sure some of you have like little celebrations or you have a meeting and clients come in and at the end there's food. Everybody goes for the food. Yes? No? You're all smiling. Some of you are smiling. I know I'm speaking the truth here, okay? Staff love food as an incentive. Here's what happens, okay? How do you use food as an incentive? Well, this company, they did a pizza challenge. Anyone like pizzas? Okay, only Martina and Tanai. No one else like... And Jake. Anyone else like pizzas? You don't like pizzas? No? Okay. Well, if you love pizzas, here's a simple idea for your contact center, okay? Have a pizza challenge. What this company did, they're a bank. They said, we'll give you a free pizza if you manage to get for the company an insurance lead. You'll get a segment filled in on that. You get a savings account filled in. You get a segment. All of these segments, you have to do something in the contact center. Then every single time you do something, you get one of these segments. Once you've done all of these, you go to your boss and he'll give you a voucher for a pizza. You can do it for any kind of food. But the idea of a pizza is it creates a circle. You have all these different pizza bites, but you only get the full pizza when you've managed to get all these different leads and opportunities for the contact center. So that focuses people. Food focuses people. It does. I know you all sort of think, yeah, it does, but we're not going to say anything. But you all love food, okay? So just if you use food in your contact center, think of a creative way to use it as an incentive. Here's another idea for you, okay? Do you have staff who go out for lunch and then they come back late? Anyone? Or do you all have canteens? Okay, you have staff, sometimes they come back late because it's busy, they get stuck in traffic, okay? Or they arrive late in the morning because they have to go and do some shopping because the store closes by the time they get back, whatever it might be. This company, this is what the company I spoke about earlier who came up with, what drives you crazy. They basically said, we're going to have a concierge service. Does anyone in your contacts, do you have a concierge service? If I go into your contact center tomorrow and I say, look, I need to get some milk and some eggs. Can you go and get it for me so I can stay here and work all day? Anyone do that? They have a concierge service where basically you can tell the contact center, or sorry, somebody at the contact center at the start of the day, look, I need to get these provisions because I don't want to go out during lunchtime in case I get delayed. And they will send somebody out. They designate one person to go out and buy all the things that everybody needs. So staff can stay in the staff canteen or they can just stay in the office during lunchtime. They don't have to go out. And the person brings it back to them. Just like a concierge in a hotel, they help you with what you need. Okay, costs a bit of money because you've got to get someone to be a concierge, but it really helps you, just allowing people to have a bit more freedom, and you provide something that no other contact center here in Turkey provides. What a great idea. Think about what you can do for your staff if you set this up. Now, they do all other things. They even have hair straighteners in the bathrooms, the female bathrooms, that is, not the males. And they have massage chairs and other things. But this concierge service really works for them. People love it. It's seen as a huge bonus. Going to skip that. Yeah, skip these. Okay, here's a really good one. Car companies. There's a company in here in the leasing business, yeah? Who's the leasing company? They're here? Car leasing? Okay. This company, they have a 12-month training program. How do they keep people motivated? Does anyone have a really long training program for staff to make them fully efficient? Anyone? Okay, I'm going to give you an idea. This is what this company did. This is a automotive manufacturer. They said our training program is 12 months. So they created a training game. And they said every time you achieve certain results in training, you actually learn new things, we'll progress you on a board. So they created a board to make it easy for people to progress through. And at the end, they graduate. But it's a car company. I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but it's one of the big German companies. And they said, let's just make it nice and fun so people can see their progress through to the end of their training program. It's a racetrack. Okay, I'm going to skip some of these. Okay. This is another one I just want to share with you. Who celebrates International Contact Center Week? Okay. Guys, 2008, okay? We introduced a contact center world. Again, one of the things we said the industry needs is an industry week. Why is there a customer service week? Why isn't there a contact center week? What did we do at Contact Center World? We said, why don't we just launch International Contact Center Week? Why? To give your people an opportunity to see how massive the industry is. Give you an opportunity to have fun and engage and motivate your agents. So every year, we have thousands of contact centers. I don't think we've got any in this group who are celebrating. We're going to need to change that, okay? Seriously. We have thousands of contact centers who celebrate our industry. It doesn't cost you 1 lira. We get nothing out of it apart from knowing that you're celebrating the fabulous industry that all of you are working so hard in. Gives you an opportunity to have some fun. So we developed International Contact Center Week, where contact centers, we even give you an agenda. We create an agenda with about 50 ideas of saying, here's what you can do. Here's an idea. This is a free idea. Simple things that you could do. And we get contact centers all around the world the same week in September every year celebrating. And they have so much fun, and they see a huge increase in employee engagement because their staff feel, well, we've got our own industry week. We must be a really good industry. Let's stay in this industry. I don't need to go and look for my next job because the contact center world is one to stay in. This is from Czech Republic. This is Slavka. She's going to just tell you very briefly about what they did.
So we've been taking part in the Contact Center Week, which the main purpose of it is to celebrate the industry and celebrate the work of our operators. It's been great because we've been also able to connect with the other centers and find out what the other centers around Europe. But what we did was celebrate the work of our people. So to start with, we rolled out red carpets and we were walking the job center on a red carpet, and everybody had like a tiny Hollywood star with their name. Just we wanted to say thank you for the work they're doing, and that we really value the work they do on a day-to-day basis. And then the end of the whole week was just lots of fun. We prepared food for our people. There was lots of breakfast, and the supervisors were baking stuff and serving the food to our people. There was also a big competition when every day, every team had to take part in a different competition, and they were collecting points, and then they could win some money towards their team action.
This is another person. Sorry, this is now somebody in South Africa who discovered International Contact Center Week. He's a leader. He works for the JSE, that's the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Okay, and his name's Shadon. This is what he told people at an event recently.
So, and it's all about leadership and mentoring at the center of it all. Before I play the video, I think I've done this last year as well in London, where I spoke about International Contact Center Week. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is not even a promo. This is reality. If you're not engaged with International Contact Center Week, please speak to Raj, speak to the team, and they'll be happy to explain even myself on how this works. And you'll see through the videos that my team, you wouldn't be able to tell the leader from the normal person in the team. But International Contact Center Week really proves to be a success if you want to bring the team together. If you want the team to take out their jacket or their coats and just to get down and to enjoy what we do. Raj, I think in his website, he speaks about, no one wakes up in the morning and says, listen, I want to go and work in a call center. I want to be able to take calls and I want to be able to get shouting from people the whole day through or get compliments from the person. We fall into this position, okay? And, for me personally, I took and fell hard into this position, but I wouldn't have had it any other way. I mean, this contact center world that we refer to is such an amazing industry that you could be in. I mean, look at us, we in Greece, and we come from the contact center. So this is awesome. So ladies and gentlemen, Raj, you walked in at the right time. I was speaking about International Contact Center Week. I think it's the next best thing to sliced bread. When I first did this about 2 years ago, I discovered fire. Okay, so let's watch. So this is my team, and we're celebrating International Contact Center Week. Hello, Contact Center World. Greetings from South Africa. I'm here with my team with JSE Investor Services. As you can see, we've kicked off International Contact Center Week, and we are here to honor and to recognize the very best in this environment, in this team. And the celebrations are about to kick off. We're going to dig into it. If we don't dig into it, we're going to shoot into it. Okay? So we're here to have a good time to celebrate and to show the world that South Africa is a country that's spearheading contact centers. Guys, what are we here to celebrate? International Contact Center Week.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna.
He's a good guy.
You know.
I know Shaden.
Yeah. Listen, guys. I mean, I could talk for hours and hours more on this stuff. There's so many more tips that we have. My recommendation to all you guys, and I'm not just saying this because it's what we do, but engage with your customers. Okay, look at some of the tools that we have available, like What Drives You Crazy. It's free. Okay, go onto our website regularly. Look at the Next Gen TV. It's free. Okay, look at connecting with other people around the world. It's free. There's so many things that we as an organization can do for you to help you engage with your customers, to do more, to be better at customer experience, to be better at employee engagement. And if any of you guys want to be and compete for the category for top 1% in Europe, Middle East and Africa, join us, come along to our event in Istanbul, participate in the awards programs. We're really friendly, helpful people to help you. And there's, you can talk to people like Tanai, who's been through many of our award programs. We want to help this industry grow. We only succeed if we help you be successful in what you're doing. If we give you ideas, innovation, and a splash of inspiration. So please you know, utilize us to the full. If you've got people, tell them about us. If there's things that you can do, you can reach out to us anytime, okay? I really hope that today, this evening, you got a few ideas. If you can take just one back and implement it, and it has a positive effect, tell us. If you take back 10, 15, 20, and you implement them, tell us. We're only successful if you're successful. As an association, we want to see you do your best. So I want to thank you all for your time. You can all reach out to me anytime and say, look, can you share more best practices? Can you help us with ideas, inspiration? That's what we do really, really well. We wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't be in our position in the industry if we weren't capable of helping you guys. And we can draw upon a lot of industry knowledge as well from members all around the world. So I want to thank you for your time. Thank Allotech as well and Cenk for his team for helping us. And we have a quick feedback form. We're going to just pass you out. If you can just give us a quick feedback, just circle a few bits. Where's Martina? Is she at the back? Okay. Can we just pass out the feedback forms quickly? Thank you. Please, if you can give us some feedback, that really helps us because we want to know, did you get something out of it? And if you didn't, come and talk to me. I'll find out what else you're looking for. Be happy to help. And thank you again, Cenk. That was really useful of you and your team for helping us out.
Always. And maybe invite all participants to the event on June.
Yeah, please, you know, we're going to be here in Istanbul, June. We're going to bring the best from all over Europe, Middle East and Africa to this event to share things like this. Every presenter is going to share 10. Thank you, Cenk. Does anyone else have any comments or any questions or anything else that I can do for you?
Play some drums.
No, I'm going to skip that. We'll leave that